Good morning. Good morning from Los Angeles. Apologies for the delay. I had an important call I had to take. Instead of 10 a.m., we're doing it at 11 a.m. Pacific. Welcome to Power Hour every Friday, usually at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. How is everybody doing? Thank God it's Friday. I don't know. It hasn't been that major of a. I don't know. There was some volatility the last couple of days, but then we're just back to normal, I guess. Buy the dippers, buy the dippers. But then a lot of things are happening in the crypto world. I want to talk about those. And more importantly, before I have a major announcement actually. So I just launched my website. Here is the website. It's www.sergioavedian.com. I think it's a cool website. I think I'm going to keep educating, informing. Did I print that correctly? Yes, I did. www.sergioavedian.com. It's a finance website. It will have a free newsletter. So once a week, a free newsletter is going to come out. All you have to do is subscribe to it. It's going to talk about macro. It's going to talk about trading, markets. We're going to keep improving the website, obviously, but there are additions coming on. Initially, the free newsletter I think is valuable tool. It's going to have some top of the funnel topics, such as it's going to have something for everyone. It's going to be for new investors, beginners, intermediate, advanced, because I believe in one thing. That is that you are in charge of your future. The government's not going to do it. Your parents are not going to do it if you're young enough. They shouldn't anyway. They raise you to a certain age. And if you're older, middle age, whatever you are, you need to learn how to save your own skin. And the only way to do that is to invest, but invest properly, invest with the right information. Not have a Robinhood account that you can YOLO in. But one thing is for sure. Okay. I do trade, I do invest, but time spent in the markets is a lot more valuable than trying to time the market. Now, I do it, I trade it, I'm okay at it or good at it, let's say. But through this website, we're going to put out all that information. It's an interactive website, obviously. You can contact me through it. There's a contact thing. There's going to be a blog. My latest YouTube videos are presented there. It's basically, they go hand in hand. The YouTube channel and the website goes together now. I think it was done well. It took a while, but this is the next step in the evolution of me branching out and paying it forward and trying to put the proper information and educate folks and paying it forward. So please go visit www.sergioavedian.com. And what else? What else? Well, as the topic today indicates, crypto under pressure. Are the bears coming out? The market had a quick sell-off. Luckily, I had some hedges that worked out. But so with full transparency on this channel, YouTube channel, as well as the website, I put out all my trades. I post them every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday in the community page of the YouTube channel. I'm sure you know where that is. I post open positions. Again, none of this is trading, financial, investing advice. What I do is very risky. Do your own due diligence. Don't do it if you don't understand what it is, just because I'm doing it. My account size allows it. I can withstand certain amount of drawdowns. If you have a smallish account, some of the stuff you may not be able to do. You may not even be able to do it simply because you don't have, let's say, level 3 option approval, right? I mean, most people do have it, but then there are certain things I want you to learn before you do it. Before you get your car in the race, I want you to learn. And I'm here to teach that with the website now and the YouTube channel for you to understand it. If you don't understand what you're doing, if you're not patient, if you don't know how to position size, and if you don't have a plan, it's not going to work out. I'm after consistency, longevity, as opposed to get rich quick. Because today's opinions of a lot of folks is that this is a get rich quick scheme. This is the best casino on the planet. It may be for some folks. But then I also have a members group. Those members are up to, I think, 40, I think. If you want to join the members, just click join. Send me an email, sergio@sergioavedian.com. I will send you the Telegram chat group link. And on that one, I post my positions as soon as I execute them. And I also post my daily positions at the end of the day. So look out today in the community page. I'm going to post my positions. It's getting to be 2 pages now. I'm adding some positions. I've been quite busy trading. I think I'm set up the way I want to set up, but we'll see. We'll see how things are going to work out. So crypto under pressure. Well, why, right? So I have been trading in some of these treasury asset companies with Bitcoin. I extended it to Ethereum. Now I'm extending it to Solana. Now, the way I do it could be a lot different. So that if you're on Twitter and if you're on YouTube, you have a lot of these experts that come out and say stuff that I chuckle at, because none of it to me makes sense. Some of it does. I'm not going to say everybody. I don't want to put everybody in the same basket. But my understanding of all of this started with completely figuring out something called MNAV. It stands for multiple to net asset value. My goal was to not understand the intricacies of each crypto. I don't want to do that. I'm just more price sensitive. Okay. I understand that each have their own. I understand Bitcoin is a finite supply of it. I understand Michael Saylor is buying it. I understand what Ethereum stands for with what Tom Lee is doing with BMNR. I understand what SBAT is. I understand the structure of the companies. I understand these have become proxies for all these underlying cryptos. But what I also figured out a while ago, I've been doing content about this a while ago, I wanted to clearly understand the importance of MNAV, multiple to net asset value, because things have changed in this world. Initially, when Michael Saylor through strategy started stacking Bitcoin a couple of years ago, his company's multiple to net asset value was over 2.0, 2.0. We have a simple method of figuring out what the net asset value of the company is for these treasury asset companies. The treasury asset companies, such as SBET, such as DeFi, such as BMNR, such as MSTR, what they do is they buy either Bitcoin, Ethereum, or Solana, or whatever else crypto comes around. Okay, so that's their net asset value. Now, there are some companies are completely converted into treasury asset companies, but there's companies like Strategy, which has an existing software business, but it's an enterprise software business that has been dead. It's just not growth, nothing. So what I tried to do is I tried to kick all the noise away and say, okay, Strategy is only worth what their Bitcoin holdings are worth. Okay, so you start there. That's public information. You can figure that out. So let's say you take the Bitcoin holdings of Strategy or Ethereum holdings of BMNR or SBAT or Solana holdings of another treasury asset company, and you multiply however many tokens they're holding by the current price. Simple. Done. So that's the net asset value. Now, these companies, once they get converted, they may have other businesses, such as I'm involved in a merger between ASST and SMLR, which I'll talk about when I go to my position screen. But the net asset value is the amount of the tokens they hold times or multiplied by the value of the token at that minute. The other calculation we have to do is we have to figure out how many outstanding shares that these companies have. That's also simple to do. That's public information as well. Now, some of these companies do something called ATM. ATM means at the market stock sales. And that's how they sell stock to the public, basically diluting the existing shareholders, but immediately go and convert it into either Bitcoin, Ethereum, or Solana. Okay. So once I know how many shares are outstanding, then I take the shares outstanding, multiply it by the price of the shares. Simple. So we have on one side, we have how many tokens they're holding, multiplied by the crypto price. And then we figure out how many shares are outstanding and multiply that times the stock price. Simple enough, right? So now you have two numbers. So how do we get to MNAV? So MNAV, let's consider one. One being market capitalization is equaling their token holdings, Bitcoin or Ethereum or Solana holdings. That's called MNAV is at 1. Simple. Sometimes some of these companies are above 1 MNAV, such as BMNR is above, Bitmine is above 1 MNAV. Strategies is still above 1 MNAV, although it has been shrinking quite drastically. So, and then some are below 1 MNAV, such as SBAT is today actually below 1 MNAV. DFDV is below 1 MNAV. So before I structured the trade, I wanted to figure out all these numbers. So once I figure it out, then I created a list for myself saying what is selling below 1 MNAV. Well, I found a whole bunch, but then I went to the biggest and the best. I went to BMNR, I went to SBET, I went to DFDV. So they have the most holdings. So and strategy. Well, I decided that I'm not going to touch any of these companies because I personally don't believe that they should be selling at a premium. So if MNAV is 1-to-1, they should not be selling at 1.3, 1.5. They should be selling either at 1 or below. If it's below, I go in. Because at some point, that multiple to net asset value without the Ethereum or without Bitcoin moving is going to go to 1. Or if it doesn't, at least it almost feels like to me, I do also consider the debt, but luckily most of the companies I'm dealing with that don't involve debt, like Strategy is doing with the convertibles. I'm trying to stay plain vanilla. I'm trying to go for discount to 1 MNAV. If I do find it, I'm putting the trade on. That's why I have a trade on SBET, DFDV. The reason is it almost feels like to me that I am buying the token at a discount. So you guys have to understand that. If a company that I'm putting a trade on is trading less than 1 MNAV, let's say SBET was trading at 0.85 MNAV last week or 10 days ago. Now we have moved up actually. Although Ethereum has come down in price, SBET's MNAV have moved up. The reason for that is I'm looking at it as if I buy something at 0.85 MNAV, that's 15%. Well, if Ethereum is at 4,000, I feel like I'm buying Ethereum at 15% discount. That's the way I look at it. Because a lot of people ask me when it was above 1.0 MNAV, they said, well, why don't you just go in and buying the Bitcoin itself or Ethereum or Solana itself? I go, absolutely. That's what a lot of hedge funds and institutions did. In fact, famous short seller Jim Chanos made a ton of money on Strategy. What did he do? He went and bought Bitcoin, and he shorted MSTR. And a lot of people have done that. That's why all the multiple to net asset values have shrunk. But in some cases, they went a little too far. They went to a discount. When I see a discount, I'm on it like white on rice. So hopefully I was able to explain this to you all. So if you are going to get involved, don't get involved because some furu on YouTube or X is telling you, BMNR to the moon, YOLO, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, no. Figure all this out. Once you have figured it out, so that's the patience part, right? Remember the 3 Ps: patience, position size, and planning. Well, now you have a thesis based on facts. Numbers don't change. Math don't lie. So now you have a thesis. Now, with patiently, you wait. Because on SBET, for example, MNAV was 1.3, 1.4. I did not put the trade on. I waited. But then when it got there, I did it. Why? Because I had created the thesis, and I didn't create it out of thin air. I created it with facts. And I said, if it gets here, I'm going to execute. Sure enough, it got there, and I executed. Done. After that, whatever happens, happens. But I patiently waited. The position size is correct, right? So, because things can go lower. And the trades I'm putting on are defined risk to the downside trades, meaning Ethereum can go to 0 and SBET could go to 0 or BMNR could go to 0. I already know what my max loss is going in with unlimited upside. I like those types of trades, right? So I structured the trades. I put them on. Whatever happens after that is not up to me. It's up to the markets. So with that said, I can go to quickly to actually to the position screen, or maybe not. Maybe I'll just say good morning. How about be nice and say good morning? Traveler, Luis, SJ, Zaven, Lynn, what's up? Doug, Vic, good morning to everyone. Welcome to Power Hour. Apologies, I started late today at 11 a.m. instead of 10 a.m., but next week we'll be back to 10 a.m. So scheduled next week, Monday morning, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, trading with Sergio. Wednesday, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, trading with Sergio. Also Wednesday at 4:30 p.m. Pacific, my members only live. As I said, I have a members group. If you want to join the member, support the channel that way, click join. I will send you the Telegram chat group link. They also get their own members only live every Wednesday. And on Friday, Power Hour, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. I posted my brand new, actually, launched on Wednesday. I launched my brand new website, so please go check it out. I would appreciate it. So what do you get from the website? It's not just my pretty face on it. What it has is it's going to have a newsletter, free newsletter. Just all you have to do is enter your email, no phone number, nothing else. And once a week, we will send you a newsletter. What is the newsletter going to be about? Obviously, it's going to be about the macro economy. It's going to be about what I see happening out there, about interest rates, about housing, about unemployment, that's the macro part. Because I do pay attention to macro, I do pay attention to fundamentals. What else are you going to get? You're going to get trading ideas, stock ideas, okay? Now, none of this is trading or financial or investing advice. You're going to get top of the funnel stuff for newbies, such as the power of compounding, such as the rule of 72, such as, introduction to options. What is a stock? Most people don't even know what a stock is, actually. What types of stocks there are, right? So we call those evergreen content, meaning you can constantly learn from those things. So there'll be articles going out once a week. So please go subscribe. www.sergioavadian.com. It's pretty simple. There is a blue subscribe button. All you have to do is click. It'll be a drop-down menu. It'll say subscribe to the YouTube channel or subscribe to the newsletter, or preferably both. I appreciate that if you guys do it. And also, I would appreciate if you share the website with a lot of folks, because I believe the path to financial freedom on an individual basis is up to the individual. It's not up to the government. It's not up to your parents. It's not up to your brother or sister or mother. It's up to you. And how do we get there? How do we close this wealth gap in this country? It's as wide as it's ever been. How do we do that? We do that by proper education, proper information, without shoving something down somebody's throat saying, go join my Discord server or do this and do that. I'm like, no, man, I don't need to do that. But I want to pay it forward. I want to educate. I want to inform and do it to the best of my ability. And I would appreciate if you guys share that with with the people you know. And please go subscribe. So one other thing that I wanted to talk about is this week. What happened this week? This week we had Jay Powell speaking. Nothing burger really. Today we had the PCE numbers come out. GDP was stronger than expected. So it seems like the economy is doing well. You know, GDP was better than expected, actually. PCE was as expected. PCE, is what the Fed looks as far as inflation is concerned. So why are we cutting interest rates? I am not sure. Why are we cutting interest rates? If the GDP is better than expected, economy is growing faster than expected, inflation is kind of flat to cooling off, let's say, why are we cutting interest rates? Is it because unemployment's kicking up? Potentially. So there's a saying on Wall Street, right? Don't fight the Fed when they're cutting the rates. However, again, breaking news, last September, Fed cut the rates by 50 basis points. Okay. Since then, the 20-year note, the 30-year note, which are the mortgages and car loans are based on, not car loans, but mortgages are based on, have gone up 100 basis points. The mortgages are still at 6.5%. Why are they not going down? Because the Fed has no control over what the mortgages do or what car loans do. They just don't have any control over that. What the Fed can do is they can regulate or lower the short-term rates, interest rates, the short end of the curve. On the long end of the curve, the market's so big, Fed cannot do anything about it. In fact, since the Fed has cut the rates, mortgage rates have gone up, actually. So the bond market is not buying what the Fed is selling. Just not, period. And how do you figure that out? Well, you can go look at a chart of TLT, an inverse 20-year note indicator. Literally, TLT has gone down in price. If it's gone down in price, that means interest rates are ticking up. Since the Fed cut the rates, the 20-year note has ticked up by about 25 basis points. So the Fed can only regulate the short-term interest rates, the bills, maybe up to 1-year note, 2-year notes. The rest is up to the interest rate gods, and the market's not feeling it. So the Fed said they're going to cut rates 2 more times this year. We'll see. But I don't think it's making any difference. I don't think it's going to make any difference to the long end of the curve. Short end of the curve, yeah, maybe it will. But yeah, I mean, all assets, all, with the exception of crypto, which may be on their way. I don't know. Gold, new all-time high. Stock market, new all-time high. Why are we cutting rates? I don't know. Now, at the same time, I would like all of you to go check something called M2. There's a global M2, that's the money supply, global M2, and there is the M2 in the US. Go check it out. Go look at a chart. We all have Google, Gemini, Grok, whatever we have now. Go Google it. Look at that chart. M2 has exponentially grown, obviously we know. It has actually started really to accelerate, to grow with the GFC in 2008, okay? Because we had major trouble. Fed came and saved the economy, and it happened again during COVID, right? M2 has exploded globally. And there is a direct, in my opinion, again, there is a direct correlation between what happens to money supply and what happens to these assets, such as gold, such as stocks, such as real estate, such as crypto. Go look at it. Go superimpose those charts on top of each other. You'll see. So M2 is still growing. In fact, it made a new high yesterday. So that means, what does that mean? In layman's terms, means there is so much more money in circulation. That means we're just printing so much more money, not physically printing, but we're adding zeros to the ledger and we're putting it into the economy. Well, as long as that M2 money supply growth goes from the lower left to the upper right, stocks, with a little correction here and there, gold, real estate, crypto is going to do the same thing. And that's when we can close the wealth gap. How do we do that? The rich have figured this out a long time ago. What do? They buy hard assets. Let it be stocks, let it be gold, let it be silver, let it be whatever it is. Because when that M2 is growing, that means there's more dollars going into the supply of dollars. More of something means dollar value is shrinking, dollar value is going down. That's when you are losing your buying power. So far this year, dollar has gone down against a basket of currencies by 11%. The government may tell you that inflation is only 2%. I go, BS to that. Gaslight all you want. I'm not buying it. But ask the regular average American, average consumer, they have lost, literally, they have lost 11% of their buying power this year. Over the last 5 years, at least 5, 6, 7% per year. But at the same time, what has the market done over the last 5 years? Almost up 100%, well, 70%, whatever. So basically, by investing in assets or hard assets, not only you're keeping pace with this devaluation, debasing of the currency, but you're getting ahead. You're going ahead. Why are housing prices so high? It's because there's too many dollars chasing too few goods, and that's what happens. Why are stock prices at an all-time high after all-time high? It's because of the print and spend. Why is crypto there? Why is gold there? Why? Because there's so much money, and that money has to do something. It has to chase some sort of return, and it comes in, and it's put to work. Now, at some point, these musical chairs will end because that M2 growth doesn't come for free. What happens? You all heard of the 38 to be 38 trillion, and I think in another 40 days, the national debt, that also keeps going up. That the trajectory of the debt and the trajectory of the M2 growth is practically identical, because all we do is we're taking 5 trillion as income as the U.S. Treasury, and we spend 7.5. So every year we tack on $2.5 trillion onto the national debt. Now, how do we get out of this? The Trump administration tried to do what was that? With Elon, they tried to do something, right? But it didn't work out. But they have different ideas. They want to grow the economy faster. They want to grow the GDP faster, because according to all the signals that, I mean, look, these are not short-term signals, obviously, but if you look at the Case-Shiller index, we are literally getting to the dot-com bubble levels between stocks and what then indexes. If you look at the Warren Buffett's index, which is total GDP, total stock valuation divided by total GDP. Our GDP is about 28 to 29 trillion dollars. Total stock valuation is about 75 trillion. That the mean for that is about 120. We're at 222%. That's like flashing red warning signs, right? But again, the musical chairs will continue. We will keep printing. We will keep spending. All asset classes will move higher with a little glitch here and there. That's why I created the website. All these things are going to be in there. You guys may not be getting the correct news. The correct news is don't slave harder, save in hard assets. And I'm going to try to, inform and educate you all with the new website, www.sergioavedian.com. So with that said, we're going to go to the position screen. I have some orders sitting. We'll see if it get done or not. Hold on a second. Let's make it interactive. This is the link of StreamYard. If anybody wants to come on, please do so. And here's the StreamYard link. Don't be shy, please. All I ask is, do you have good internet reception and you're in a quiet place? We can talk about anything you want to talk about. So let's go to our positions. Hope you all can see this. These are the positions. All right, where are we? We are. We're making some money today. SPY. This is the S&P 500. It opened higher, sold off with the good news, so not the point. I'll go to some charts later on. So my positions are, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, up to 7, but then each one has multiple legs. So as you guys can see, again, all of this I will post on the community page of the YouTube channel by 2 p.m. today. All right, let's start with DFW, DeFi Development Corp. This is a Solana treasury asset company. I just have 45 put credit spreads on this one. Going out to October, I'm short to 15 puts and long to 12.5 puts. This is called a defined risk trade, a put credit spread. Basically, I have sold the closer to the money put, and I have bought a put to cover my butt in case things get ugly. Okay, I have 45 lots each. My cost is 182 on the short puts and 68 cents on the long puts. My short puts are, so stock is 1535. By the third Friday of October, if the stock is above 15, this will expire worthless. So basically, 182 minus 68 is about $1.24. Yeah, $1.24, $1.25. So I took in $1.25 for each credit spread and put credit spread and times 45. I will keep all the premium if by the third Friday of October, the DFDV is the symbol, is at 15 or higher. Done. Next position, I added some today. I have 8,500 shares of a stock called INHT, Inno Holdings. I added like, I think, a couple 3,000 shares today. So my average cost 143, stock is 138. We'll see what happens there. I have a on MSTU, which is the 2x ETF of MSTR, which is completely related to Bitcoin. I have let's call it synthetic. It started with selling puts and buying a call debit spread, but since MSTR went down, MSTR went down, MSTU went down, I bought the short leg back with profits. Now I have I'm short 45 of the December 5 puts at a cost of $1.18.5. Let's say $1.19. They're about $1.50 because it's gone down. But on the other hand, I'm long 100 of the December 5 calls with a cost of 93 cents, and they're about 75 cents. But I took in about 8 cents on the short leg because I had the call debit spread. I was long the 5, short the 10s. I bought those back. Now this is it's an asymmetric synthetic. Let's call it that. Okay. It's not symmetric. Symmetric would be if I had 100 short puts, 100 long calls. That would be a synthetic, basically a stock replacement situation without buying the stock. So that's called a synthetic long, basically. So I'm a synthetic long on this one. Next one, some of these nosebleed stocks. I wish I was short Oklo, but I didn't. I am short 1,200 shares of Rigetti Computing, which is short, literally short the shares. Rigetti Computing is quantum computing stock that went from 5 to 35. I shorted it at 31.13. I sold the 27.5 puts against it. I bought those back at 2 cents today, and then I sold the 31.5. Stock is 31.09. They're expiring today. So either I'm going to get assigned at 31.5, close the position with profits, or we're going to keep the ball rolling and sell some more puts. But if it's below 31.5, I'm going to cover 1,200 shares that I'm short. And that'll be done that way. Next position is SharpLink Gaming, SBET. Now, this is a complicated position. Please go check out the community page. Honestly, I will try to explain it, though. So how do we do this? Let's do it this way. So SharpLink Gaming. First of all, I'm long 1,500 shares at 17.04. Stock is 16.26. At the same time, I am short. Again, this is going out, by the way. This is going out to January 2026. So this is going to be a longer term position. I am short 60 put credit spreads. I sold the $15 puts at $255, and I bought the 12.5 puts, same as DFDV. I bought the 12.5 puts. This is January expiration 2026 at $1.30. So I took in a $1.25 credit. So I took that credit, used that money on 60 of them, and bought some calls, bought some shares with that money. So I'm getting paid to play at the same time because I don't have the same amount. Again, this is also a non-symmetric synthetic. Say that again 3 times fast. So the put credit spread we're going to keep, shares we're going to keep, but at the same time, I'm also long 15 January 2026 $15 calls. But against that, I went and sold, and against my shares, I went and sold 30 because 15 options equals 1,500 shares plus 1,500 physical shares. I get in and out of these things all the time. I sold 30 January 2026, 25 calls against the long position at a cost of $1.90 and they're $1.80. So that position is as is, it stands. Next one. This is the headache of all headaches because the market maker are absolutely messing with the pricing of the options. I initially started this as a symmetric synthetic. I sold a put credit spread and I bought a call debit spread on SMLR, Semler Scientific, which is a bona fide medical equipment maker or medical testing company. So what happened? But at the same time, last year, at a lower price, they bought themselves 5,100 BTC. Well, Vivek Ramaswamy's company called ASST, I know the symbols. I don't know the name of the company. Anyway, on Monday, they came and said, well, they're a BTC or Bitcoin Treasury Asset Company. They said, okay, we're going to buy Semler Scientific we're going to merge and we're going to take over your BTC. I'm like, great. So what did they do? They offered Semler Scientific, which the shareholders approved. They're going to do share for share, meaning, so last time I looked, when they announced the deal, ASST shares were at 4, and they said, we're going to give you 21 shares of ASST for each share of Semler Scientific. I'm like, fantastic. So 21 times 4 is 82. Stock closed at 30. So on this one, I'm short the 30 puts going out to December. I'm short the 30 Semler puts, and I'm long the 25 puts. As you guys notice, I'm doing all this with defined risk downside trades to the downside, but not that much on the upside. My upside is pretty wide open, right? So what am I doing here? So what I want to do, I'm just going to wait now because the second the deal was announced, all the options went haywire. So I'm long options. I'm not long the stock, and I'm short options. So here's some of the bid and asks. For example, on the 25 puts that I'm long, bid is 65 cents, offer is $4.50. How am I supposed to get out of this thing now? I can't. I have to wait until this deal closes. At the same time, on my members group, I said, there's a great arbitrage here. Why don't you guys buy Semler Scientific and short ASST? If they had done that, Semler Scientific is basically about the same price as when ASST was at 4. Guess what ASST is at today, guys? $2.50. You would have made a ton of money if you did the arbitrage. Now, even at 250 times 21, Semler Scientific is worth about 55. Well, what's going to happen? We're just going to have to wait. At some point, I will have to exercise and exchange my shares for ASST shares, and then it's going to be a long process. So, but like the other, for example, another bid and ask, the $30 calls, 4 bid, 590 offer. The $30 puts, 370 bid, 780 offer. How the heck am I supposed to deal with this? Or the short calls, because I did the put credit spread between the 30 puts and 25 puts. Then I turned around and used some of that money, bought a call debit spread. I bought the 30 calls and sold the 40 calls. So I have tons of upside with limited risk downside. Okay, well, how am I supposed to get out of this position now? Well, I don't see any way to get out of it other than deal closes, I exchange my shares for ASST shares. So if I have 25 call options, I have 25 of the calls. If it's above I have the 30 calls. If it's above 30, I have to exercise 2,500 shares and then go and exchange those for ASST shares times 21. And we'll see. We'll see where that deal is going to go. But I still do like the arbitrage. The arbitrage is still there. In fact, Semler is now at exactly where I put the trade on a couple of weeks ago. So, but now you cannot do it with options. Now, the best trade to do now would be to buy Semler shares and the same quantity, not same quantity, same dollar amount, go short ASST, because that's called arbitrage. If ASST goes up, Semler is going to go up by 21. If ASST keeps going down, Semler is not going to go down. The break even on this deal is at $1.50. $1.50 times 21 is about 32. Even you will even make money there if it goes to $1.50. Well, it seems like it's on its way to $1.50 because it was at 4 when the deal was announced. Now it's down to $2.50. I'm pretty sure they'll take it to $1.50. There's another reason for that, is because the PIPE investors who invested in ASST, their PIPE means private investment in public equity. Their investment is at, their pricing was at $1.50. So now ASST would like to become a treasury asset company, take over the 5100 BTC of Semler Scientific. Now, again, when I did the Semler Scientific trade, why did I do it? The only reason I did it is because, again, we figured out MNAV. I kicked away the healthcare business that they own, which is worth something. I said, okay, they have 5,100 BTC. BTC is at 110,000. That's about 525, 130 million. Semler Scientific market capitalization was at 400 million. I bought this thing as a 0.75 MNAV. I'm like, I'm going to do it. I did not know about the takeover, but it happened. So now we just got to watch paint dry. We just got to wait. There's nothing else I can do. I'm just going to wait. And now I turned this position around like multiple times. What are we doing here? Did we sell any more of these calls? No, we didn't. Okay, that's fine. Do we even want to sell these calls? No, actually. Okay, so the last one is Solana's 2x ETF. I thought we were into support right around 200. Actually, broke 200, went to 193. So what do I have? I have a 15. This is going out to November. I have 15 put credit spreads between 23 puts and 20 puts. And with that money and some more of my own money, I went and bought 25 calls, November $25 calls. I paid about $440 for it, and they're about $420. But today I started selling October 30 calls against those. Okay, so reduce my cost, and at the same time, right, create some income, and which I'm going to keep this position. So this is this will be the shortest term trade. SBET I'm going to hold. I'm trying to get into BMNR. I was in BMNR. I did the same thing. That went under 1 MNAV. So those are the positions. I will post them as soon as the market closes today. Now, do I want to sell more of those October 30 calls? No. Maybe. Well, we'll just leave it there. Yeah, so those are the positions, folks. Pretty good day today. Actually, it turned around. It was not that good at the open. But all the cryptos are turning around. So we're fine. All right, this is the charts. Let's go to the front. Let's see if there's any questions. It's going to be interesting with RGTI. We're at 31.21, 22. I have the 31.5 puts that I'm short. So either I'm going to get a sign, close the short position to 1,200 shares, or we're going to keep rolling. Maybe we'll keep rolling. Okay. All right. Good morning, Manny P. Manny P, right here. I'm going to post that one more time. Here's the new website. Please go subscribe. I don't know if I'm doing this on Twitter today. I was in a rush. This is the new website, folks. Please pass it around. It looks good. It's going to be a lot of good information. Free newsletter once a week. Please go subscribe. So, any questions? No questions. Okay. Let's go through some charts. Let's look at the markets. Do we want to do this actually? Yeah, let's see where the crypto pricing is. I think Solana has rallied the most. Okay, let's look at where crypto is. Where is crypto? Crypto BTC 109,826 off of Coinbase. ETH 4041. Ooh, Solana is green now. 201.61. That's why SOLT is rallying. Okay, it looks like a little bit of a breakout. We may have some more room to the upside, so we'll keep that. Yeah, we'll definitely trade around the SOLT position. The rest I'm just going to keep. Ethereum 4045. That turned green. Okay, that looks like a little bit of a double bottom. MACD is turning up on the hourly. That looks good. Okay. Okie dokie. Let's see what's going on. Let's see. Let's look at some charts. Actually, we are going to sell those calls because once I get out of the long side of the calls, I'll just keep them naked against the put credit spread. In fact, I may even add it to the put credit spread. Where is the put credit spread now? I can sell them at 580, buy them at 4. Nah, I don't want to do it. But at some point, I will add to it without a doubt. MSTU is working out. The other, yeah, it's all fine. All good. Let's look at some charts. This week was the week of the nosebleed. Nosebleed meaning I actually put out a really good video about parabolics and how they end in tears. So this is the SPY. We had a pullback to the mean reversion to the 20 EMA. Honestly, all the Twitter furus were like, "Oh my God, correction!" I'm like, "What are you guys talking about? We pulled back like 1.5%, still above the 20 EMA. I don't trust this rally though. Actually, it was short along some UPRO puts, 3x ETFs. I actually ended up making some money on those. I was long 105 puts on UPRO. I may have caught the top tick on that yesterday. Actually, it started with a put debit spread, and then covered the puts short leg with about 40% profit, and then sold the calls yesterday at about 20% profit. So it turned out okay. I mean, look, picking a top in this market is crazy. I mean, look at this chart, right? This is triple Q. Same thing there. We visited the 20 EMA or the middle Bollinger Band. We're going back to the highs. TLT. This is what I'm talking about, folks. This day right here is where the Fed cut the rates, and then TLT has gone down by about 3 points, which is pushing the 20-year note rate up by 30 basis points. Bond market's not buying what TLT is selling. I mean, Fed is selling. This is gold. New all-time high. Look at that. I mean, I think we're at 3750, maybe 3800. I don't know. It's going to 4000, I'm sure. So let's look at some big names. Apple consolidating after making, or right under an all-time high, right about 256. Just a bull flag. It's building. AMD I like a lot. Was pulling back by about 3. Now it's down only $1.90. This is the consolidation. This is the ledge before the next move up. I'll just put out some of the good names, and then at the end I'll put out some of the nosebleeds. We know what they are. HIM's having a fantastic day today. Actually, that pulled back to the 50 EMA like it should have after rallying to 60 almost. Wow, did they really pull back that much? I didn't even know. Yeah, this is a stock with 9 lives. It never dies. Hood, new high, I think, new 52-week high. No, actually. Oh, it's red now. Interesting. Palantir. Palantir is also red. Very interesting day. Market's up. NASDAQ is up. S&P, SPX is up. NVIDIA also red by pennies, but still red. Very interesting cross currents happening. So let's look at some of these quantum computing stocks. I mean, look, you can short these things. I shorted a couple, but I'm sweating bullets, right? So as you guys can see by the labels, I'm short 1,200 shares. I picked the top. I mean, there are ways you cannot pick tops on these things, but with experience, you learn over the years what you need to start shorting him. And today actually retested the high and then just turning red. So, but it's at 31.32, and I have the 31.5 puts. So either I get assigned at 31.5 or they expire worthless. Because I had sold the 27.5 puts when I first shorted it for 50 cents. Those died down to 2 cents. Bought it back this morning. I rolled them up to 31.5. And this thing has weekly options, so I may even actually roll them to next Fridays if I'm close or if I'm in the money by a nickel or so. So we have, let's see, we'll have 1 hour and 10 minutes. We'll see where it ends up. Here's the big one. Missed the trade on this one. I wanted to short that OKLO, 145 high. We're at 109. I may even buy this thing. Just call me crazy. First pullback to 20 EMA about 103 is a good buy on this thing, or maybe Bollinger Band about 95. I will trade the 2x ETF for that, which is OKLL. What else? Some of my members make good money on WRD. Actually, is it really down to 1020? That thing got up to 1250. I think it may be a buy point. This is the INHT that I'm long, 8,500 shares. Looks a lot of ticket, honestly. I'm right at it, so I'm at 142. Stock is 136. You guys know the other positions. I have to go through it. If there is, so here's some of these nosebleeds. Okay, QUBT, all these quantum computing stocks. Now it's finally red. QBTS, D-Wave Quantum. That's still up for the day. That might be my next short candidate. Up 38 cents. IONQ is the next one. Actually, that turned down now. How interesting. I mean, I put the video out on Monday, how to short these things. Please go check it out. You'll learn quite a bit. What my indicators are that I use to short parabolics. Because parabolics don't end well. Another one was SanDisk. Look at that thing. I mean, it just defeats the purpose of saying trees don't grow to the sky. I guess trees do grow to the sky. Another one. There's so many. NBIS is another one. Momentum is a powerful thing, ladies and gentlemen. Don't fight momentum. Some of my members are involved in Oscar Health. Oh, it's up 20 cents. I think Oscar Health is building this wedge that I'm kind of interested in. I think they're waiting for the ACA credits to be extended or not. This could gap up or gap down. One of my members is knee-high deep in NEO, 7-Eleven. Oh, it's red today. Oh, I didn't know. Is it topping? I don't know. I'm not sure. The furu of all furus, open door, 870 down 30 cents. Actually, one of my members bought that. It came down to the 50 EMA or middle Bollinger Band about 7 yesterday. I think on his part that was a good buy. Not a good buy, but good buy. Some of my members were long LAC. And that's down a whole $1 today. Wow. Trump administration. I was long 8,000 shares of this. Didn't have the patience to hold it. Whoever held it, more than doubled their money. Yeah, it was like I think I was long at like $3. This thing hit 7.5 today. Okay, another one is Fuel Cell. I think I'm looking to buy that one. Yeah, a little bit more pullback. I'll buy that one. Another one I'm looking to buy is Resolve, RZLV. RZLV. Yeah, Resolve. Ooh, that's down to the 20 EMA. That's also getting into the buy point, I think. Yeah, there are a lot of good stocks that are pulling back that are good buy. Lemonade, I like. Second visit to... it's kind of nerve-wracking, but I guess we'll see. I do like the company, though, quite a bit. Upstart. That's breaking 200 EMA. We're not touching that. What else? Uber. I think Uber is like pretty close to an all-time high. Yeah. That company's doing well. What else? What I had just off the top of my head. Some of these small ones, BBAI, Big Bear Holdings. Actually, that moved up and pulling back. See, there's a lot of buy on pullback kind of a situations here. So that's why you have to have patience, and you always have to have dry powder. Some small names, some big names, they're getting into the range of buys. Oklo we looked at. Yeah, Oklo is an interesting topic. There's a 21 billion, well, not today. If 145 was worth, market cap was 21 billion with a B. They do not have 1 penny of sales, not one. So God help these longs. They will be bag holders for a while. Look, man, it's my opinion only. Whatever you think is what you think. Palantir, is that down or up today? That's down about 60, 70 cents. That's just kind of consolidating before it makes a new high, I guess. And I think my favorite out of all of them is AMD. I do like this consolidation phase right here when the moving averages are converging. I'm going to trade the AMDL on that one, which is the 2x ETF of AMD. I like these 2x ETFs, and they all have it. You know, pay attention to those. Archer. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Joby Aviation is another eVTOL, so that's, you know, I was short Joby Aviation as well. But all these quantum computing stocks, I have so much room to the downside. Actually, I'm hoping that I don't get assigned, and then I short some more of these things. But then shorting is difficult. It really is difficult. You just gotta be really careful with these. What else? What was their big news? Oh, Restoration Hardware is falling off. It was falling off the planet. Not much. It's actually because Trump announced tariffs on furniture. Yeah, that's about it, folks. If you have any questions, put it up. I'm going to say goodbye and see you guys on Monday. Let's recap everything. Question: do you have a clear preference to consider immediate support resistance versus Bollinger Bands? They come kind of together. So the way I would answer that is Bollinger Bands. My indicator for Bollinger Bands that I use is two-part. On the Bollinger Bands, when the stock is going sideways, you all know, so since you're my member, you know, I like things that go sideways. And I like things when they're about to break out. When they do break out with good volume, what happens to the Bollinger Bands? They stay tight, 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 with the 20 EMA being the middle band. They start opening up. Once they're opening up, then the stock starts walking up the upper band. As long as it's walking up there, like it did with Rigetti, like it did with a lot of these quantum computing stocks, right? So immediate support and resistance, right? Horizontal lines, you look at it. And then if the stock is, let's say, in a trading range, support resistance lines, right? And Bollinger Bands are on top of it, and it starts breaking out, and then the bands start opening up, and then stock starts walking up the upper band. Those are powerful, powerful signals. You got to be really, really in there. Now, on the support and resistance side, all these stocks that I put up, BBAI, Resolve, FCell, you know, some of these, what has happened? Oh, Bollinger Bands opened up, stock walked it up. Now it's going to pull back to the middle band. Now you create support resistance levels. The old high is going to be resistance. Support is going to be at the 20 EMA or the middle band. It makes things easier. It really does. I hope I answered that question properly. When looking at the chart, at the way a chart is trending, like running a bit or maybe in the middle, depending which indicator we're looking at. Yeah, I think it was those two questions go together, I guess. All right, folks. So much love. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend. I'm going to go do whatever else I need to do. I'll be back on Monday trading with Sergio. 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. Please subscribe to the new website. Please share it, www.sergioavadian.com. If you want to support the channel, become a member, click join. Send me an email, sergio@sergioavadian.com, so I can send you the Telegram chat group link. It's a good group. We have our problems once in a while because there's an Armenian in there that just gets under my skin here and there. No, we're brothers. He owes me 3 sushi dinners though, because he made so much money. So, you know, members get their perks, obviously, which is live trading executions that I post and my positions. But today, no worries, I will post my positions on the community page. So support the channel, support not me financially, I'm doing fine, but support your friends by giving the tools of education, which is the website, which is the YouTube channel. I'm not selling anything here. I'm just trying to put out free information for you all, and I think it's good information. So, what else? That's about it. So I'm gonna go have a cup of coffee now because I have to wait for Righetti's Righetti's and I'll probably pin it right at 31.50. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. But I'll be back on Monday, trading with Sergio, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. Much love. Stay healthy. May all your shorts go down and may all your longs go to the moon. I think that's how I'm going to end every episode or every live stream from now on. I like it. All right. You guys be well. Please subscribe to the newsletter, www.sergioavadian.com, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Please put a thumbs up. Algorithm likes it, supposedly. And that's it.